everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 top root causes of SIBO and how to fix it for good. It mostly comes down to slow motility and a gut microbiome imbalance. Essentially, things are moving too slowly in your GI tract and your gut microbiome has gone kind of out of whack and had a lot of microbes overgrow and cause some problems. And combined with the slow motility, they're starting to overgrow. Most of your gut microbiome should be in your large intestine, but these microbes are starting to overgrow and multiply far more than they should be in your small intestine, which causes a lot of gas and gurgling and abdominal pain. Now, I've been here. I had chronic gut issues for over 10 years. I had really bad gas, bloating, abdominal pain, food intolerances, constipation, all those fun things. But I overcame them 7 years ago and have been pretty much symptom-free since. So today I want to share with you what I learned from my own healing journey and healing SIBO and how you can heal too. Now I am a gut health nutrition coach and I help other people to heal. So these are also things that have helped my clients. But let's get into the top 5 root causes for SIBO. So the very first one is going to be low stomach acid. So essentially your stomach acid needs to be strong and it needs to be very acidic in order to break your food down thoroughly and also just reduce any pathogens that you've come into contact with and microbes. So this is very helpful for basically preventing foodborne illness and preventing microbes that shouldn't be there from entering further down into your body. And next stop off after your stomach is going to be your small intestine. So you really don't want more microbes coming from that way. Also, just having strong stomach acid is going to ensure that you are breaking your food down efficiently. If your food is broken down more thoroughly, it will move faster through all the other stages. If your stomach acid isn't strong enough, your food's not going to be broken down thoroughly enough, and your small intestine is going to have more work to do. Because it has more work to do, it'll take longer. You can see where I'm going with this, slow motility. So you need strong stomach acid. 2 more things here. If you're not breaking your food down thoroughly enough, it's going to be harder to get the nutrients out and absorb those nutrients. If you have nutrient deficiencies, that's going to make it harder for your body to make stomach acid, make digestive enzymes, and basically get your digestive system to start working faster and speed up that motility. Also, if you are not digesting your food thoroughly, you're going to have a lot of excess waste that's going to be fermented by your gut microbiome because this has overgrown too much into your small intestine. You're going to get a lot more fermenting, which is going to cause gas and bloating in your small intestine. So this is really key. The second root cause is going to be eating hard to digest foods. So this is going to be essentially following the same line of thought as the first one with stomach acid. If you are eating foods that are harder to break down, so this is going to be things like grains and nuts and seeds and legumes, these very high anti-nutrient foods, also raw veggies, just things that are difficult to break down. All of this is going to lead to more food waste, less nutrients being absorbed, and more gas and bloating, and it's not going to be good. So the third root cause is going to be low digestive enzymes and low bile flow, which is essentially going to be caused by nutrient deficiency. So part of this can be nutrient deficiency from your gut being off, from your digestive system being off, and part of it could be nutrient deficiency from just simply not getting enough nutrients in your diet. I'll touch more on how to do that later, but realize that low digestive enzymes means you can't break your food down as thoroughly, and low bile flow means you can't break your fat down as thoroughly. All right, the fourth root cause is going to be gut dysbiosis. So that is a microbiome imbalance. That is when certain microbes overgrow and cause issues. They're often called pathogenic microbes, but really they're just microbes that overgrew and cause a lot of issues. So there's lots of root causes for gut dysbiosis. I'll get into that more later when I'm talking about how to heal it though. So the fifth root cause is going to be stress. When you are stressed out, your digestive system essentially goes on pause. You stop producing as much digestive enzymes and just digestive juices in general. Things stop working as well. Motility slows down. You can't really have bowel movements when you're stressed. So if you're constipated in combination with your SIBO, stress can be a big a big player here. Also, stress worsens your gut microbiome. So if you are stressed, that is absolutely slowing down your gut motility. It's essentially telling your body that there are more important things than digestion that need to be attended to right now. So let's get into how to heal. So the first thing is going to be to support strong stomach acid. And there's some things that we can do for this. So you want to ditch any antacids or PPIs. Those are horrible for you. They're reducing stomach acid. You need your stomach acid. If you're experiencing acid reflux, it is not from too much stomach acid, it's from too low of stomach acid. And I have a lot of videos about that, so I will link one that goes into why that is the case and some more things you can do to support strong stomach acid and overcome any acid reflux. But I'll mention a few more here too. So eating mindfully and relaxed, getting plenty of zinc, magnesium, potassium, chloride, and sodium. These are all key for making stomach acid. You also want to support adequate bile flow. Bile flow and stomach acid are closely tied, and both will kind of increase or decrease together. I'll talk about that more in a second though. And then you want to avoid drinking plain water and non-acidic beverages around mealtime because it'll just it'll raise the pH, lower the acidity of your stomach while digesting, and that can cause a lot of digestive issues down the road. The second thing you want to do for healing is to eat nourishing and easy to digest foods. So these are foods that are going to break down easier so you can absorb more nutrients out of them. These are going to be the most nutrient dense foods so that you're getting the nutrients you need to make digestive enzymes and make these things that will help you digest your food thoroughly and make your whole digestive system just work correctly, speed up motility, and, fix SIBO, because that's really one of the core components of fixing the SIBO is speeding up motility. So what foods? You want to eat meat, you want to eat dairy if tolerated, you want to have bone broth or meat stock, eggs, organs, seafood, fermented foods, fruits, and cooked veggies. Now you want to cut out the hard to digest foods and the foods that are damaging your gut. So you want to cut out gluten, processed foods, sugar, alcohol, artificial sweeteners, that includes stevia, seed oils, and then you want to either cut out or really limit and only have properly prepared grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. So properly preparing would be soaking, sprouting, or fermenting them to reduce the anti-nutrients, make them easier to break down and easier to digest. The third thing you want to do is support bile flow. Bile is a substance made by your liver stored in your gallbladder, and it is released when you eat a lot of fatty foods because it helps to break down that fat so that you can absorb it. Now, for supporting bile flow, a key part is eating fat. Bile is mostly made of cholesterol, so you need to be eating cholesterol to make sure you have enough to make your bile. And then bile can get kind of sluggy and stones can start to form if it's not being stimulated and moving a lot. If you ever look at like a creek that hasn't had rain flow in a long time and it's all stagnant and it starts to grow all this moss and algae and gets kind of funky and you wouldn't really want to go in that water, that's kind of like what happens if bile just stays in place if you eat like a really low fat diet and it's just not being stimulated, except instead of algae you get stones and sludge and a lot of uncomfortable things come with that. So you want to make sure your bile is being stimulated and it's flowing very constantly to prevent buildup of things. So eating a lot of fat is key for this. If you have gallbladder issues, if you have stone and sludge issues, you do want to go a little slow with this, but you want to be increasing your fat and you want to be getting enough fat. Eating liver is really beneficial here. Liver has a lot of nutrients that your liver needs to basically go through its detoxing phases and help move bile along. You can also have liver detox herbs. So I like to have this in teas like burdock and dandelion root, milk thistle, things like that. You can get like a liver detox tea, or you can make one. I like to make them. You can also have citrus, so like grapefruit juice or lemon water, apple cider vinegar water will also help to stimulate your bile flow. And yeah, I have a whole video that goes into bile flow, so I'll link that up above and down below if you want to learn more about that. All right, the fourth thing you could do is heal your microbiome. This is essential because I was talking about the two components of SIBO are you have slow motility and you have a microbiome issue. So you absolutely have to fix your microbiome. Things you can do for that is you need to be eating a lot of fermented foods. So you need to have things like yogurt, kefir, fermented veggies, sauerkraut, kimchi, things like that. This will help to rebalance your microbes so that you have a healthy population and you don't have these funky ones overgrowing. You also need to cut out those foods I mentioned earlier in order to stop feeding the overgrown microbes. And in some situations, you're going to have to cut back on fruit and starches. Now, this is not everybody. I have plenty of clients that heal from this while still eating some fruit and starch. However, I also have clients that need to cut out fruit and starch. Now, I just happen to cut out fruit, or pretty much cut out fruit and starch because I was eating keto when I was healing. So I did cut those out, but I don't know if I technically needed to or not, but I did and it worked well. So be mindful of that. You might need to cut out fruit and starch because they can feed microbes that have overgrown and are causing your SIBO. And you also want to minimize toxin exposure. Toxins can cause your microbes to overgrow. Microbes are excellent at helping your body get rid of toxins, but yeah, you need to cut it off at the source. You need to make sure you're not exposed to a lot of toxins. So that's going to be really important. And if you want to learn more about balancing your microbiome, I will link a video up above and down below that goes a lot more in depth. All right, and the last thing is to manage stress. This is very, very important, and I know it's easier said than done because it was a very big struggle and honestly something I'm still kind of working on in my own healing journey. You have to remember that stress is putting your body in the sympathetic nervous system state, which is the fight or flight state. It's pulling you out of the parasympathetic state, which is literally called the rest and digest state. When you're in the parasympathetic state, your digestive system is working really, really well. Digestive enzymes are being released. You're actively digesting your food. You're able to have bowel movements. You're able to have urges. When you're in the sympathetic state, that fight or flight, this is your body's way of protecting you. So this is meant for if you're running from a tiger or fighting, or there's a natural disaster that you're fleeing. That is what it's meant for. But a lot of times we get into this state from our own day-to-day stresses. It could be finances, it could be work, it could be something completely different. But in being in that stress state mentally, we don't have this clear off trigger that brings us into the relaxed state again. Whereas if there was some kind of disaster or you're fighting or something, when you're done, your body can start to go, okay, that's over with, and transition back into that parasympathetic state. So a lot of times people have chronic stress because there's not those clear off signs, and you're constantly dwelling on things that stress you out and making everything worse. So if that's you, it's really important to recognize this, start stopping yourself when you notice that, changing the way you talk to yourself, changing the way you structure your day, making sure that you have habits that help calm you down, and especially making sure that you're calm when you go to have bowel movements and when you go to eat, because neither of those are going to function properly if you are stressed. If you're stressed out and it's dinner time, I'd rather you do something that calms you down, like read or go on a walk or take a bath before you eat. You're going to digest that food way better, and it's going to do a lot for helping you overcome SIBO in the long run. Now, stress is a huge topic, so I'm going to link a video up above and down below where I go a lot more in depth and give you a lot more practical things that you can implement to help if that is something that you are dealing with. But yeah, so those are the main things that you want to do that will heal your SIBO. So that's, let's see, support strong stomach acid, eat nourishing and easy to digest foods, support bile flow, heal your microbiome, and manage stress. All of these will help your digestive system start working properly again, speed up that motility so that your overgrown microbes in your small intestine get pushed back into your large intestine, and the ones that overgrown that aren't supposed to be overgrown get put back into place and you've got a healthy, balanced microbiome again, and then you won't have the gas and gurgling and all those uncomfortable symptoms, abdominal pain. And if you want more help healing your gut, I do offer coaching. So I offer a program called Ancestral Gut Healing. It's designed to help you heal your gut and digestive issues at the root so you can get symptom-free and pain-free as soon as possible. If you are interested in hearing more about that, I'll leave a link down below where you can book a call with me, and I'm happy to share more about my program and see if it is a good fit for us to work together. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, if you're working on healing your gut and you want to do it naturally with ancestral nutrition, holistic practices, consider subscribing because I talk about that all the time on this channel.